Operation Status Quo. Operation Status Quo. Prepare to engage. Operation Status Quo. Ready to engage. Operation Status Quo. Engaged. 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 Hey, what's going on? Hello, hello, hello. How do you do? I think I sang something like that last time. I can't do the same thing every time, but oh gosh, what are you going to do? Oh, ladies and gentlemen, hello and happy Friday. Happy Friday to you. It's Friday, the last day of March in the year 2023. Almost said 2022. We don't want to go back to 2022, do we? I think that was worse than 2023. You know, it's funny because 2023, not for anything. Think about how quickly it's going. So, you know, going by so far. We're ready to the end of March, ready to hit April. Think about everything that's happened through this time so far. Things are moving so quickly. I mean, even like, you know, January, February might have been like a little slow, but I mean, it kind of started like, you know, with the Hunter Biden stuff coming out, and you know, then like, you know, the train derailments things, and you know, we've had some earthquakes, and you know, what happened in Turkey, huge earthquakes, and what's the other stuff? There's been floods. I mean, there's all kinds of protests going on in France and Israel, and like, you know, all these places, and it's just really been like a crazy bleep show. And like, you know, we're just, you know, we haven't even gotten through a quarter of the year yet, right? No, this is a quarter of the year. Though 4 times 4 4 times 3 is 12. So one more month, one more month to be a third. It is a quarter of the year. 3 4s, right? 3 3 3 3. Gotcha. I'm sorry. You know, hold on a second. I'm not here to do math. I'm not here to figure it all out like that. Let's not all of a sudden get complicated. I don't want to have to add 3 4 times and make a fool of myself. Hey-o. No, seriously. So, you know, we get through a quarter of the year, and we're already, you know, pretty much screwed. And then to top it all off, of course, and as you see, the title of today's program is TRUMPIFIED, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, because things are about to get Trumpified. I think they're terrified of Trump, and now they will be Trumpified. And of course, you know, anyone who follows me knows I don't go, I'm not super on one side of anything as far as political goes, because I just don't believe in any of that stuff. It's all crazy nonsense. And I did a show earlier in the week. If you missed that one, you can go back and watch. I think it was I think that's the one that was called Dear Truth, Do You Exist? That was from a couple days ago. So hold on a second. I got a call coming in here. Let me see. I'm going to try this because I've never done this live on the air before. So let's see if this works. Hello. Can you hear me? No, all right. I'm not hearing you through my headphones. I'm doing my show right now, so I'm going to have to call you back. I wanted to test to see if you called, if I get the phone. Let's see if it goes. Hold on a second here. Talk now. Hello? Are you there? Do you hear me? Are you talking?
I hear you. I hear you.
I hear you, but you're coming out of my computer and not going through my computer. Now that why? I mean, I can hear. I don't know if the audience. Hello, audience. This is my mother, by the way. Hello, audience. Hello. You're coming out of like the computer itself and not like through the computer. I wonder how I can fix that. I'd like to. Hey-o. I'm glad you called because I wanted to test that anyway. So now I know that I have to do something to make that work. I don't know. Yeah. All right. So you want to say hello to the world real quick before I let you go or anything like that?
Yeah. Just hello, everyone. Have a great day.
Okay. All right. That's my mother, ladies and gentlemen. That's just simple. That's what I should do. I should just come on and say, have a great day. And just leave everybody alone and leave it at that, right? Hey-o. And be done with the whole thing. All right, then. As soon when I'm done this nonsense, I'll give you a call back.
Yeah, no rush at all.
Okay, well, thank you. My audience appreciates that. Thank you very much.
I appreciate them too.
Okay, all right. Bye then. Bye. All right. So, all right. Well, there we go. That was the official mother of Operation Status Quo, ladies and gentlemen. I wish that could have worked. I'd like to know how to get that to come through the phone. Anyway, what are you going to do? Hey-o. So, yes, as I was saying anyway, that we know, you know, I want to get the phone thing working because I have people that I've been talking to that are going to come on the show, and I was thinking of doing it that way instead of doing it through video. But anyway, that's what the hell you care about that right now. All you care about is like what you're seeing in front of your face, and unfortunately, this is about it. But anyway, so yeah. so interesting of like how these things play out. And again, let's just remember that everything we see on the mainstream is basically, a show. And I don't even mean it in a way, like I've said this before, it's not even in a way of trying to be like, all, going down crazy rabbit holes of conspiracy and pointing fingers and, our whole existence is a spiritual existence, essentially. I mean, that's the basis of everything that I talk about. And that's why here at Operation Status Quo, we just like to observe the status quo, and then we learn to flow with the quo and, and not get all worked up and attached, to whatever the status quo is at the present moment. Because, again, we come from a spiritual essence. So, from the start, this physical, I know it seems so real. Believe me, I hit myself in the head and it feels so real, but truthfully, it's not. And then on top of that, the real interesting part is that, there's so many levels and layers to the existence because there's so many levels and layers of energy and soul growth. And, the bottom line is no matter what, like, people, I know like on the truth movement side of things, which I appreciate, the grassroots up, way people have trying to take the reins of getting information and news out to people. I think it's awesome, but of course, just by nature, we're all limited in certain ways. So even that goes down, a bad path sometimes. And of course, there's going to be people who are going to take advantage of it. I mean, I'm not talking about the people. I'm not talking about the people who are really trying to send positive messages. I'm speaking of those who, look at it as an opportunity, just like anything else. They realize what's going on in the world, and people are always. It's just human nature. We want to seek comfort. We want to seek, common ground. We want to seek safety in certain regards. So, a lot of these people get on and I think they take advantage with some of the messages they send and the way they say it, because it's not, again, and I've said this before, it's not just, you're going to sit there one day and the freedom fighters are going to parachute down and liberate and everything's going to be hunky-dory, and they're going to lock up all the people we think are bad or whatever. It's kind of so much more in depth than that. And that's like what I was saying the other day when I was talking about when I was mentioning about the episode where I said, "Dear Truth, do you exist?" Because even those and Trump comes across as a figure that is saving everybody, and he's being attacked, and it's easy to when you see somebody that you think is and the way it's viewed, and as far as the whole movement and everything, it's viewed as Trump is a patriot who's trying to give power back to the people, and he's being attacked by these evil people. But what level, I'm not saying that isn't the case, right? But all I'm saying is like what level of that is true too. Like maybe we think some of these people, like, the Clintons or whatever, that are labeled as, these evil Satan worshipers and such, are they the bad guys? Like, or are they playing a role? Is Trump really as good as, he appears to be or wants people to think he is? Or, is he playing a role? And I think it's all of it. And this is the thing I'm trying to say. This is why we have to always take a step back and give a little bit of space, because, all this stuff is going on. And at the end of the day, the other point I was making as I go back and forth in my head, as I always do, but, this world is a playground, essentially. And as long as we are in this, physical incarnation, on in this 3D paradigm, it's always going to be a spiritual battle in a sense. It's always really just good and evil, playing out. It's all karma and stuff just playing out in these physical roles. And there's always just going to be duality. There's nothing you can do about it. There's going to be day. There's going to be night. There's going to be cold. There's going to be heat. There's going to be dark. There's going to be light. All that kind of stuff. It's just it's going to be that way, because you can't have one without the other when in a dualistic world. So there'll be times, in human evolution where maybe higher vibrations will have a little more control over the day-to-day society, and times when it won't. Like even Atlantis is a great example. Atlantis had immense technology. The civilization was, high tech and, civilized, and they were, it was more of a, altruistic or whatever you want to say type of society, but the evil crept in there, right? They used the technology incorrectly, and that's what ultimately caused their demise. So, you can do your research or whatever if you're interested in Atlantis, or, if you're an expert on Atlantis, comment in the comments and contact me, and I'd love to have you on, and we can do do a whole show about Atlantis. That would be awesome too. So anyway, that's the whole point. So Trumpified, because, to me, this is just another part of this beautiful, movie we've been watching. And it's a catalyst, it's a catalyst for the next set of events. And, not to say, I don't know how much, I know people aren't always all into this type of stuff as far as like the Q movement, for those who are not as familiar, QAnon, they talk, it's not really QAnon, it's Q and the Anons, but, Q. And Q had a post back on December 17th of 2019. And this is how, you got to this. This is a thing. If you're not familiar with Q, there's a bunch of posts, with the Q thing. And, basically the point of it is that the news unlocks the map. So and for people who've been following, for some years, like, I've been following for the last, 3 years, you learn some of the things that are put out on social media and different avenues, just mainstream news as well, that actually lead you back to things that were talked about on the Q post some, years ago. So, for example, when Trump put out his statement about being indicted, he spelled indictment wrong, and so when he spells a word incorrectly, it's generally a sign to, look at that word, it's a sign to go to the Q. So if you put in indictment, in Q, you get the post 3717, which was on December 17th of 2019. And it basically says, first indictment, then in kill brackets, it says unseal will trigger mass pop awakening. First arrest will verify action and confirm future direction. They will fight, but you are ready. Marker 9, and 9 is in kill brackets. So they talked about the first arrest will set the tone. It's been a lot of talk. Well, will Trump be the first arrest, or those said it was Hillary Clinton. Blah blah blah. Who's the first arrest? A lot of people didn't think Trump would be because of he's part of this movement and blah blah. But it makes a lot of sense, like to me, because this whole thing is playing out. And again, I want to say this in a way because I want people to understand that it's not about like following conspiracy theories. It's not about, just like blowing shit in the wind or whatever you want to say, pissing in the wind, it's none of that. It's deeper, I lost my train of thought. So I really wanted to get into trying to say that like, oh yeah, like, the world is, the way it's changing, we're consciousness is changing. It's so much more than is Russia sending nuclear bombs, into Belarus for strategical strikes on Ukraine or Poland or other countries, or, it's like you look at that and you go, oh my God, blah, blah. But to me, like, that's even like a smokescreen. I don't believe, even if they set off a nuclear bomb, I don't even know if I would believe that was really a nuclear bomb. I think we're like, there's a lot of stuff that talks about humanity has kind of, shifted timelines and gotten past that point of nuclear destruction. So, it's not going to happen that way. But these incidents have to really be so on the forefront and scary in a way that it, otherwise people will never think about it. You'll just do the same thing like over and over and over until something kind of bucks the path where you have to go around, right? Or think something differently. And that's what I really think about all this stuff. Like, I don't think like Trump's the be all end all. I don't think Q's the be all end all. To me, they're all just pieces of, in different ways. Like people there's people I talk to who believe a lot of the same things that I believe, and they never even follow Q or anything. But like I'm saying, it's just different avenues or different methods of expression because there's so many different types of people and mindsets to reach. I mean, it's just like religion. You got all these different religions. Essentially, they're all the same, these religions, but, what do you feel more comfortable with? Are you comfortable to be, Jewish? Are you comfortable to be Muslim? Are you comfortable to be a Christian? What is it that works for you that makes you, live those truths each day and try to, find a higher space of existence, So, I mean, it's the same type of thing. So all this stuff has to play out the way it has to play out to get people to wake up. And again, it ties into with the financial thing. Like, everything's changing. The whole world, what we've done for the past however many years, couple hundred, whatever years, it's done. It's all done, and we're shifting into something new. You see what's going on with the AI, new levels of technology. I mean, our whole life is going to be, I can't even imagine myself. I always think of my, grandmother. It was a big deal for her to have a phone in the house. house, that she didn't have to share with half the neighborhood, and now, by the time she passed away, look where we are. So I say to myself, man, by the time, if I make it to her age, God, I probably will be able to, take a little trip into space. Well, if you believe space exists, but at least into the, around up by the firmament, if you're going to go down that way. But anyway, to go back to this Q thing real quick, just to say, because then it made me think at the end of this, it said marker 9, so what's, marker 9. So then I put in marker 9 and, marker 9 brings up a post back from February 15th of 2018 that talks about Lincoln Park, Calgary military base and Project MK Ultra. And it goes into this whole explanation about the CIA convinced the Allen Memorial Institute to allow a series of mind control tests on 9 patients in the Montreal school as part of their ongoing MK Ultra project. And then this Q post is kind of long, so I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it goes into that. But at the end of it, it says, have any recent shooters received therapy in the past? And just talks about to research the information. And ironically enough, not to say that one has to do with the other, but now, like, we just had this shooting in Nashville, and that transgender female who did the shooting was actually in therapy during the under doctor's watch or whatever they said, therapy during the time of this shooting. And it goes back to what I was saying the other day. If it was yesterday, I don't know, I say it all the time, that these school shootings are definitely CIA MK Ultra operations, because how else? What a great way to put such fear into the population. You can't even send your kids to school. You can't even send your little bambinos off to school with their little, Hulk Hogan lunchbox. I'm really going back in time, but I'm just trying to say, right? You can't send them off to school and think that they're safe. So, and I just find it interesting that, and that's the thing with the Q posts, it all leads into other stuff, and it's all relevant as to things that are going on. And it's really just amazing. And what I think is really great about what's going on with Trump, and I'm sure, the people who are really on the super, woke liberal side that are just like, they enjoy watching people suffer for some reason. Like, they act like they're the nicest people in the world, but they're really just so angry. And it's a weird thing, they're angry because they're programmed. They're programmed, and deep in their soul, they're not living true to themselves, but they don't want to step outside, the box of the narrative, because then they feel shunned and not part of the group. It's, it's really an amazing thing. But anyhow, what was I going to say? What was I saying about that? I was saying that this is why I need somebody on with me to say, this is what you were saying. Yeah, I think it's going to start a big thing, because listen, you know how Trump is. It's a whole show. Like, that's why he did the wrestling and everything else. It's all part of the same thing. Like, this is like you're watching WWF with this nonsense. So, he's getting indicted. He'll be arrested. And then once that shit show starts, can you imagine what he's going to bring out and start saying? And then at the same time, they just reported yesterday too that the dorm report was wrapping up and some information would be released. And I don't think like anything's ever going to, I think it's all pieces. That's what I'm trying to say. It's all pieces. And I just think Trump is a character, part of a plan of bigger things going on. And they're all part of it. They're all part of it. And some of them are on one side, some of them are on another side. There's a battle going on. It's really insane. But these, to me, it's great when I see stuff like this happen. Like, we need to get shit going. It's enough. People are, mulling in this crap for years, since, people have been suffering for multiple years and they don't even realize it, and then when COVID happened, then all of a sudden, people really, and now people are just like kind of lost and confused. They're trying to stay within the remains of a dead world that they thought they loved, but they actually don't, but they're just scared to try something new. Caught between that and caught between the unknown of, well, what will the new world be? How do I settle myself into a new way of life and all that type of thing? So yeah, man, it's great. Hey, let me get a round of applause, because it is just freaking great. Trumpified. They're about to get Trumpified. It's going to be a really fun thing. Heyo. And I think it's going to be even more so. Like, it's going to lead to other stuff. I think Biden's stuff's going to come out and he's going to go down, whatever. If Trump runs or doesn't run for the next presidency, wins or doesn't win, or, whatever. None of all, it doesn't matter. All that matters is getting the truth out. And I don't care who's who's the good guy or the bad. It's just the truth. You know, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to be like, oh, you know, even like they talk about, you know, everything with the Hollywood and stuff, and like, you know, a lot of these actors and everything with the pedophilia and stuff. You know, when everything first started coming out with COVID and this whole movement about, you know, really, you know, these children and what's really going on, and that's part of like everything that's happening. I mean, that's what's so crazy about it. It's not just like we were going around one day and COVID just happened. You know, it's like this is all pre-planned stuff. The COVID's planned. The bank crashes are planned. You know, it's all planned, you know, because you can't just like, you know, drop the bomb on everybody in one shot. You know, it's got to be like this kind of, you know, people have to find their way. And the more disruptive the normal day-to-day life is and the more information it's put out, you know, it's you know, you're forced to see it. You're forced to, you know, make changes. And, you know, I've been waiting for these changes, you know, since I was you know, basically a young teenager. All I know is I vividly remember even being with like, you know, my high school friends saying like, you know, we really need to go down there and just take every one of these people out of the, you know, Congress and all. I'm not saying violently, but, you know, we should be dragging them out in the street and saying, get the hell out of here. You know, it's always been criminals. And that's why I even say about voting and everything else that I say, it's all criminals. It's all criminals. And if somebody comes along that's really trying to do something, you know, in a good way with integrity, they're either going to be killed or they're going to be somehow compromised so that they have something on them, so that to force them in a position, you know, to not really push anything else forward, you know. So beautiful times. So, you know, don't panic, don't worry, don't fear the nukes, don't fear the aliens. You know, if you see an alien spaceship in the sky, remember Project Bluebeam. They basically can project something that looks as real as anything else right in front of your face, and that's what'll be going on. If you see the big alien mothership coming down, you know, it'll be Project Bluebeam. It'll be just another way of getting people scared, distracted. So, you know, just stay focused. And like I said, I think it was yesterday probably, but, you know, in general, you know, just prepare yourself, like, you know, just live like, you know, just forget the outside world and think of what do I need to do to live? Like, what do I have in my possession so that I can maintain, you know, having power, whether you have a generator, whether you know, some food, and you know, you don't have to have like, you know, a tunnel underground with like 6 years of stuff prepped up, but, you know, it doesn't hurt to have some things to get you through when situations happen, so you can stay a little calm and, you know, maintain while you see what's going on and figure out the next step. And I definitely think there's going to be disruptions and some heartache, but I also think that we are moving to a place of beautiful growth and expansion. And, you know, it's up to each individual whether they want to be part of it or not. I mean, each individual is going to decide to either stay muddled in the 3D, you know, the weight of the 3D paradigm, or they're going to free themselves and expand and have you know, a more joyous connection and expression of life while you're here. So, you know, anyway, that's basically what I'm saying. So I think this is just a start. This is like the start, you know, and like once this happens, I think it's going to lead to a lot of other things, because now especially going through court and all these type of things, a lot of documents can come out. God knows what kind of stuff will get dropped. So I think it's great and it's interesting. And, you know, I just want to tell people, stay happy and positive. You got to be happy. You got to be positive. You got to be happy and positive. Hey-o. Maybe I should have called the episode that. Be happy and positive. All right, I don't think you would get as many views if I just said be happy and positive. You know, nobody likes that. If I put 10 people died horrifically, then, oh, what happened? Let's check that out. All right, I'm Pete Palmer. This is Operation Status Quo. Thank you guys so much for being here with me today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. Send this out to all your family, your friends, those you love, and, of course, those you despise as well. I love each and every one of you individually as well as a group. God bless. God bless all you people out there. Stay positive. Don't forget to drop me some comments. Let me know what's on your mind. Again, you're welcome to be here as a participant on the program, just like my mom was today, even though it was by accident. But she was a sub, not a sub participant, but like a quasi participant. I don't know what the hell I'm saying. All right. Hey, you know what it is. Hey, it's the weekend, so I'll probably see you on Monday, right? But thanks for being here with me, and I'll be back with you real soon. Stay positive. No fear. Life is beautiful. Operation Status Quo disengaged.
10 short